presentation now. Okay. So I think you people are all able to see it. As Pushpa Madam told you, mathematical modeling is a very important part of our life. And now the problem which we are facing also needs mathematical modeling. So the lockdown and corona is the one which has made our life very difficult, and it has made our life difficult, along with it has made us tech savvy. All of us have learned how to use the PPTs, how to use online classes,
ಅಷ್ಟೇ
how to take
ಬರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ
online classes.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು?
ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಪುಷ್ಪಾ?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, ma'am, but
ಹಾ,
it's not full screen. I'm thinking of that.
ನಂದಿಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮಗಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ like department details and all, it will be there. It's okay, ma'am. You continue, ma'am. Students, can you see the full screen? Any one of
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Do it, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So the thinking of present situation, I have chosen the title as mathematical modeling of an epidemic due to corona. So my talk will be on mathematical modeling of corona, not in depth of that, but I will explain you few things along with mathematical modeling. What does it mathematical modeling mean? So the first slide says, what is mathematical modeling? Anything which is explained in terms of mathematics is mathematical modeling, remember. So whatever you want, if you explain that a mathematical model is a description of a system using mathematical concepts and languages, that means you should write it in mathematical language. If you write that 10 apples plus 6 bananas is equals to 16 fruits. So you will write it as 10 apples instead of 10 apples, 10a plus 6 bananas, 6b is equals to 16 fruits, 16f. Yes, this is mathematical modeling. The concept is, I want to say that how many fruits are there with me and what type of fruits are there. So this is the explanation what I am giving. So 10a plus 6b is equals to 16f. This is mathematical modeling of that. But this will not give you the clear picture, so that whether I am having any other fruits also in my house, all those things. So that has to be incorporated. So the whole modeling, if you want to do, you have to take care of all other things. So the first thing concept you should understand is mathematically expressing the things is called as mathematical modeling. The process of developing a mathematical model is termed as mathematical modeling. So that is what process of developing means. If you give me the information about fruits and I am writing the model, so that is mathematical modeling. So mathematical models are used in natural sciences such as physics, biology, earth science, chemistry, and engineering disciplines such as computer science, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, all engineering disciplines you use, as well as in social sciences also we use, such as economics, psychology, sociology, political science, and everywhere. So remember. So a model may help to explain a system, to study the effects of different components, and to make predictions about the behavior. So the important thing is here, you have to have the different components and you have to do some predictions, then you have to predict its behavior. 3 components are there in it. So that is what mathematical modeling means. So this is the what we call is line figure, line diagram, Rekha Chitra. So mathematical model, input variables, output variables, verify model. In between inputting the variables and outputting the variables and verifying the model, before that I have to have some parameters kept constant. So that is what the assumptions. So I do some assumptions. I have input variables. So this is parameters. This is inputting the variables. So input the variables, output variables, and then verify the model. So this is what exactly mathematical modeling means. So what are the problems we can do? Few things I am writing here. So let us consider the following problems. So that means these are the problems we can do mathematical modeling, which need mathematical modeling. So what is that? To find the width of a river, to find optimal angle in case of shot put, to find the height of a tower, to find temperature at the surface of the sun, why heart patients are not allowed to use the lift, to find the mass of the earth, estimate the yield of pulses in India from the standing crops. This is very important. These are very important things. To find the volume of blood inside the body of a person, estimate the population of India in 2021. Now already in 2020 we know it. Now you can estimate it, what may be the 2021. So all of these problems can be solved by using mathematical modeling. These are few, there are many. So in general, it looks like this. So first one is real world problem. So the mathematical modeling is an unending process, it is actually. So it will not have start, it will not have end, remember. So you will start and you will go to the last portion and then again come back, verify it and again go. This is how it has to go. So what is that we do? First step is defining the problem. So you have to define the problem. After defining the problem, what do you do? This is the two-way arrows you are saying. First you may define the variables and then define the problem, or you may define the problem and go to variables. So you should identify first any one of these first. So that's the reason why I say sorry. I think I went back. Okay. Anyone. So defining the variables or defining the problems. Or first make the assumptions. So what is that assumption you want to make? Make the assumptions that same thing what I said, the fruit example you can take. So so you want to study only number of fruits or number of vegetables there in the house. Then make the assumption that there you don't take the green vegetables. You want to consider green vegetables, or you don't want to consider green vegetables, or you want to consider the ripe fruit, or you don't want to consider the ripe fruit. So like this, you have to make some assumptions there. So okay, let us not consider the ripe fruit, or let us not consider the rotten fruit. So there are some things which you can neglect it, and you can consider few things which you have to make the assumptions. That is the assumption. Then make the assumption, define the problem, then define the variables, or define variables, make the assumption, define the problem. These are all two-way things. So any one can be done first, or any one can be done afterwards. So after that you will get the solution. So once you get the solution, you have to analyze it. Analysis of the solution is very important. After analyzing, then again you may go to repeat the needed thing. So if time is there, then again we will go and repeat. Or else after analysis you report it. So how you have to report it? You have to report it, or you have to make it in a presentable way. So you have to prepare a report in such a way that all of us can understand, all laymen can understand. So that is the visualization is very important. So it has a lot of components which you have to consider. So this is the overall picture of mathematical modeling. Now I will go to some simple ordinary differential equations in the real world situations. All of you have learnt this I think in engineering also they will teach all these things. So what is that we have is the differential equations have a remarkable ability to predict the world around us. So whatever is there in the world, so everything changes along with some time or along with some variable, some position. It will change with the position as well as time. These are the only two factors I am considering. It will change with the n dimensional quantities are there which are affecting it. But if you consider only two, so what happens? Any problem depends on position and time. That means two variables are there. So then you will definitely get a partial differential equation. So you will, what happens if you get a partial differential equations, what we do is we are always habitual of learning easier thing first. Complicated things we want to make it easy and learn, and then afterwards we will apply it to complicated. So like that partial differential equations are not so easy to solve always. Therefore we have to reduce it to ordinary differential. That's the reason why I am considering here ordinary differential equations. The ordinary differential equations are used in mathematical modeling to analyze and understand a variety of real world problems. Mathematical models are not perfect predictors of what will happen in the real world. Remember, this is very, very important. So what I am saying is this point. So this point says mathematical models can be used for predict the things, not perfectly answer the question. So prediction is different. Perfect answer is different. Perfect answer, because we are doing some parameters we are keeping constant, some assumptions we are making. So therefore, we will not be able to give the perfect predictions. We can say that within next 24 hours or next 48 hours, it will rain. But we cannot say exactly that 12 o'clock it rains or 2 o'clock it rains. So that is perfect prediction. If you can predict it perfectly at what time it rains and how much time it rains, then that is a perfect model. But we cannot do that. So only thing is we can say that the next 3 days there will be rain. So our next 24 hours it will rain. So that means not the exact answer. Perfect. Only prediction we are going to do it. So mathematical model, at least we can predict it. So you can make use of it predictions and you can plan the things. So that's the reason why we need mathematical models. They can offer important insights and information about the nature and scope of the problem and can inform solutions. It will give you that, okay, so this is the information I am giving you. Next 48 hours it will rain heavily or lightly it will rain. And then I will say that what is the solution. So solution is that you stay in the house or you take umbrella with you. So that is the solution I can give you. So that's what the mathematics can do it. So and these models you have already seen in your books. All textbooks have this: population growth, exponential growth, population growth, a social issue. Then mathematical concept used is exponential growth model, overpopulation and carrying capacity, logistic differential equation, scope field and phase line analysis, and population crash caused by over harvesting of natural resources. This is important. This is the logistic equation we call. Then spread of disease. Spread of disease. This was exactly very much useful for all diseases. From so many years they are making use of this. And this is the modeling of disease via differential equations. So what type of models are there? And those things I will try to explain you. Okay, when we say the ordinary differential equation, we must have to remember Newton. So he is the one who has given us the idea how ordinary differential equations and model come together. So he has given us the three fundamental laws, which are very, very important. And still today the earth is, the whole universe is depending on these laws only. So these laws are till today true. So remember, they are till true, and we are using still that. So, but in future they may change because of these gravity waves. Once we get the perfect information about the gravity waves, definitely we will get some changes. We will have some term added or some term divided in this Newton's law. It may happen. So these three laws, you know it. Then first, second law I am taking, just F is equals to ma is there. So what did we learn? We learn when we were in high school. It was taught to everybody that F is equals to ma. So force is mass into acceleration. Yes, total force is equals to mass. What is the total force? Force consists of what? What type of forces are there? How many forces are there? So that we have to consider. And mass, not a single particle I am going to consider. I am going to consider number of particles. A cluster of particles will be there. So then what should I do? So if the cluster of particles are there, then we have to take if they are continuously distributed. Remember, there are two assumptions we have to make. One is many more number of particles are there. It consists of some more particles. And then what we can say is the particles are continuously distributed. They are not clustered at one point. Then at that time, what I have to take? Mass. What is that mass? Mass is density into volume. So mass is equals to rho V. So this can be written as m is equals to integration rho dV. That means each and every particle's density into volume, we go on adding it. Then if it is a continuous one, we have to use it as the R. So that is integration. We can use the integral. So this is what we have to. So instead of m, what is that I have got? Instead of m, I am having integral rho dV. Then a, what is acceleration? Acceleration is rate of change of velocity, that is dv by dt. So if I want to write it in terms of dv by dt, then here mass I am having rho dv, and here this is dv by dt. Then substitute it in this ma, F is equals to ma, then what do you get? So then we have to consider the type of forces also. So type of forces, think that F is the gravitational force is there, some body force is there, some surface force is there. So three forces are there. Simple, I'm not writing the forces also. Forces also has to be written in terms of stress and strain. So those things, if I go on writing, then this equation F is equals to ma, a simple equation, how it looks, how it is looking. Now G plus Fs plus Fb is equals to integration rho dv d2 x by dt square, not d2q, it is wrong, it is x, it should be x. d2x by dt square or dq by dt you can take. So then this one, integration is there, differentiation is there, and some more forces are there. So then this becomes a complicated equation. Simple F is equals to ma becomes complicated. So how the things become complicated also is important here. That gives you integro differential equation actually. So or you can convert it into differential equations. So many of you know how to convert all those things. So another thing is, the important part of this is the fundamental laws. The whole universe is governed by three fundamental laws. One is law of conservation of mass. Second one is law of conservation of momentum. So this this should not be OFF, it should be only of law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of momentum, and law of conservation of energy. So these are the three laws on which the whole universe is depending. So these three laws will give you three different differential equations, which all of you might have studied it already. If you are in third sem, I don't know whether you have studied it or not. Equation of motion is there, equation of momentum equation we call. So this is what the momentum equation, the last stage, this is continuity equation. Mass can neither be created nor destroyed. Law of conservation of mass. What does it say? It says the mass can neither be created nor destroyed, which is not possible. Which is not at all possible. Now here only I can say that Mass means here in this webinar, how many number of students, how many participants are there. So already they have joined 30. So 30 have joined. So that means the mass is 30. So, but whether it is constant, it cannot be created or destroyed is possible. Some of you might have left it, or some of you may not be having the Wi-Fi connection, you have gone disconnected, then mass will not remain 30 only. It may become 20, 25 or 10. We don't know what will happen. But the law says mass can neither be created nor destroyed. That means we should add one more sentence, one more term here, that it cannot be created or destroyed unless otherwise there doesn't exist any sources or sinks. If there are no sources and sinks, then this holds, this law holds. So that means the mass is constant, okay, simple way. So m is equals to constant we are taking. So if m is constant, then what happens? Okay, let me take, oh sorry. Then if you differentiate with respect to t, then what happens? It is dm by dt. Why it is going? I am trying to take pen actually. It is here. Okay. See, we are not so tech savvy. Still, we are learning it. So that's the reason why we are unable to do it. So m is constant means d by dt of m is 0. So dm by dt must be 0. So then m, what I have written in the last side, I have written that integration of rho dv. So that is d by dt of rho dv. Then differentiation is also there, integration is also there. So again we are landed in integral differential equations. Thus, we come across mathematics which is very complicated. That's what I wanted to show here is the laws lead us to mathematical models. Now coming to my title. So what I said is COVID-19. So what is that COVID-19? COVID-19 is a disease. Remember, it is a disease caused by corona virus. It is a viral disease. So why we are so much worried about this viral disease? Let us see. First, daily we are hearing these words: epidemic, pandemic, outbreak. So let me explain at least a few words definitions. Though you may be knowing it, but I thought that I should concentrate on this also. So that is epidemic. An epidemic disease is one affecting many persons at the same time. So epidemic disease, it is a disease actually. Epidemic disease is the one affecting many persons at the same time and spreading from person to person in a locality where the disease is not permanently prevalent. So that means locally spreading disease is called as epidemic. So that means epidemic is commonly used all on its own as a noun, meaning temporary prevalence of a disease. For example, the city was able to stop the flu epidemic before it spread across the state. So that means it was restricted to only city. So if it is restricted to only city, then we call it as epidemic. It is restricted to some area, some region, local one. Other than that, there is a word called as pandemic. The pandemic disease is an epidemic. It is an epidemic that has spread over a large area. Epidemic has spread over a small area, whereas pandemic has spread over a large area. And it has gone throughout the country, throughout the continent, throughout the world. Whole world has affected it. So pandemic is also called as, it is a noun actually, it can be used as a noun. And COVID-19 has, initially they thought it is epidemic, only in China it was there. Then when it spread through whole China, then they called it as pandemic. But when it went to China and suddenly it has outbreak. So suddenly it has outbreak. So that is, it has gone to throughout the whole world it has come. Why it has come suddenly? So this is very important. See, an outbreak is sudden breaking out or occurrence, sudden occurring. So we thought that it's still in China, we will not bother. But it came to us so fast that outbreak, it has erupted throughout the world, it has come. So outbreak, when referring to an infectious disease, an outbreak is specifically a sudden rise in cases. Suddenly it has risen. The cases, number of cases has become more. So it's not local, it is not global, it is throughout the world. Outbreak, pandemic, epidemic. Now the next word is panic. We have become panic about this because we all are getting sick. We all dread getting sick. We panicked. So why it happened? You understand this. Years ago, illness didn't spread very quickly because travel was difficult and expensive. It was not so easy to go to China or Chinese to come to India. But now China has become only the neighbor state, neighboring house. It becomes like a neighboring house. Going to China is not a big thing. So that is the reason why that epidemic which was there in China came to us very fast. Now thousands of people travel via trains and planes across the globe for work and vacation every day. Everybody want to go to vacation to Europe. So now nobody nowadays going to Bangalore, Mysore. So Uttar Karnataka people used to come to Bangalore, Mysore to see, and Bangalore, Mysore people used to visit only North India, South India, North India area. So we used to come only in India, only within 1,000 kilometers. Vacation. Now vacation means outside country. Go to Europe tour or go to Switzerland, go to France, go to Germany. Everybody want to go to see the mummies. So what is this? So because the money is there, so that has fallen down now. The illness that were once confined to small regions of the world can now spread quickly as a result of one infected individual who travels internationally. So it has spread. So that like this it has spread. So after this there are two words. Everybody now still they are circulated, quarantine and isolation. So what do you mean by quarantine? What do you mean by an isolation? So quarantine house, why you want to see it so suspiciously? So they are not infected people. People are put in quarantine when they are not currently sick. Remember, quarantine, if he is in quarantine, that doesn't mean that he is sick. He or she is quarantined because he may get the disease because he has come in contact with a diseased person. So quarantine when they are not currently sick but have been or may have been exposed to a communicable disease. This can help stop the spread of the disease. So if you quarantine yourself, if it comes to you, it will restrict to you only. So if you move along with other people, then what happens? So all other who have come in contact with you also susceptible to that disease. So isolation is the one who is communicated, who can communicate the disease. Isolation happens when a person is infected with a communicable disease. Isolated person is a diseased one, not quarantined person. Isolation and the isolation is a person who is infected person, and isolation is also the one which is a measure to stop the spread of the disease. Quarantine and isolation both are used to spread to stop the spread of the disease, but isolation is the one where the person who is having the disease, but whereas quarantined is the one who is not diseased but they are quarantined. After that there comes susceptible, infected and recovered. What do you mean by susceptible? Susceptible means you are likely to become sick with these infections. The quarantined person is susceptible, and one who is having pre-illness like heart disease, diabetes, or cancer, or any TB, tuberculosis, or any other viral infections are there inside the body, then he is susceptible to catch this infection fast. Then infection means the invasion and multiplication of microorganisms such as bacteria, virus, and parasites that are not normally present within the body. The body will not be having all those things initially. They are the one which are coming from outside and attacking our body. That is infection. And recovered means recover means to become successful, a normal person who have come out of that infection. That is recovered. So after all, seeing all these things, why do we need the mathematical modeling for epidemics? We need mathematical modeling for epidemics when it becomes a pandemic or outbreak. If it is epidemic, only epidemic, and if it is restricted to only local area, then easily measure how many people have got the infection, how many are susceptible, how many have recovered. This you can get the information from a doctor, from that area doctor, or from health workers can give you all these informations. But if it becomes out of your control, if it is epidemic has become pandemic and it has become outbreak, then how to measure it? Then you have to take that small areas numbers, and then you have to predict it, what will happen in future. So mathematical modeling of epidemics is an important phase in outbreak. It is very much useful in outbreak. This will quantify the situation and help in implementing precautionary measures. So the mathematical modeling will help you to quantify the situation and take the precautionary measures. So mathematical models are not just research tools. Remember, they are already used in public health, where they provide answers to vital questions such as how big will the outbreak be. So they predicted it already that it will come to you. So that is how big it is. How will it develop over time? How will it, what will happen? They have already predicted that though these many people will die, these many people will get infected. So that is becoming true. Then how can we control it? This is very important. So the first two questions answer if you get it, then we need to control it. So how to control it? What one has to do it? How many people has to be given vaccination? If vaccine comes, then how to do it? How to distribute it? That is very important. That part is very important and can be dealt by mathematicians. So here there is a very important parameter in this, all this. So everything you remember, whenever we study a mathematics, study mathematical modeling, there will be only one parameter which is very much affecting the whole model. So here in this, the parameter is R naught. R naught is a parameter. It is called as epidemiological parameter, or it is called as basic reproductive ratio. So this parameter is called basic reproductive ratio. So what does it explain? The average number of secondary cases caused by an infectious individual in a totally susceptible population. This will explain you. So this is the one which explains that. So it tells about the initial rate of increase of disease over a generation. So what will happen? So if it is greater than 1, the entire susceptible population is susceptible. If it is less than 1, it will not spread. The epidemic will not spread. It tells us whether a population is at risk from a given disease. The value of this tells us the population is at risk or not at risk. There are some epidemics which are not so risky. So like herpes. Herpes is a viral infection, but it also spreads, but it is not a risky one. It will restricted to some people only. It is restricted. So that is what. So what happened? It's not moving. Okay. Yes, it's Okay, next slide is this. So this basic reproduction number, this is mathematically, it is written as beta. If the beta is, if an infectious individual contacts beta other people per unit time, beta people are contacted per unit time, then if all of those are assumed to be contracted the disease, and if the disease has a mean infectious period 1 by gamma, mean infection, we are hearing that we are hearing that mean infectious period for this coronavirus, that is first it was 7 days, then 10 days, then 14 days, then they said 28 days, now again they have reduced it to 14 days. This is done by the mathematics study only. So therefore R naught, this number is mathematically written as R naught is equals to beta by gamma. That is number of people's individual per unit time, contacted per unit time is beta into multiplied by number of days, that is period. So that is what the exactly do. So these are some values which already experimentally verified, and they are experimentally and mathematically as well as manually they have verified these, the values for R naught for disease. For this is the table which gives you the disease and R naught value. R naught value says R naught is 2 to 5, that means 2 to 5 people will get infected. Smallpox 3 to 5. Then the measles 16 to 18 people will get immediately infected. And malaria, it is very fast spreading. Like this we have all, for all viral diseases we have this table. So that table there exists. So then there comes, you might have heard in paper nowadays, initially it was epidemic, then pandemic, then outbreak, isolation, quarantine. Now they are using this word herd immunity. What does this mean, herd immunity? The concept of herd immunity is generally used for calculating how many people will need to be vaccinated in a population in order to protect those who are not vaccinated. Because when they are talking about the vaccine development, then they are talking about herd immunity. So that means how many people has to be vaccinated. So that we have to calculate next first. Next step is that it is a phenomena in the context of disease that can be passed from person to person. It follows from two factors. One is vaccine efficacy and vaccination rate. How many times you have to vaccinate. So now still polio vaccination they are giving. So like this, how many times you have to vaccination rate, you have to decide, and vaccine efficacy. This has to be decided by only mathematicians. Firstly, vaccine convey immunity to disease. Immunized individuals have antibodies that will neutralize germs when they come in contact with them, making it much less likely to pass on to others. So what does vaccine do? Vaccine will develop antibodies, and it will not infect, the person will not infect others. So that is what the main thing. Secondly, if everyone is immune, then almost no one will spread the disease. Thus, even people who have not been vaccinated and those whose vaccination have become weakened, or those vaccines aren't fully effective, often can be shielded by the herd immunity, because vaccinated people around them are not getting sick. So that is what the main thing. The maths of herd immunity, this is the maths. The necessary vaccination coverage is calculated with the so-called R naught of the particular disease. A factor implies for how many people will be infected on an average by the person with the disease. What is known as the herd immunity threshold, or the critical immunization threshold. So that is what you have to find out. QC is the critical immunization threshold. You have to calculate that. So you will see the example. One simple bit of maths can predict what proportion of the population needs to be vaccinated to prevent the spread of viruses. So that is what we have to study. So the formula is Vt is equals to 1 minus 1 by R naught. This is the formula. So previously I have said QC. In some books they use QC, that is the threshold. where VT is the proportion of population who require vaccination. In case of something like HIV virus, I am taking one example, AIDS, with R0 value is 2 to 5, you would only need to vaccinate a maximum of 80% of the population. Whereas the measles, you need to vaccinate a maximum 95% of the people. So this is called as herd immunity. This method of protecting the population is called herd immunity. So this is the calculation, V tau is equals to 1 minus 1 by 5 for AIDS I am calculating. So that gives you 80%. So this is the graphical representation of herd immunity. So how is it looks? R0 is the that blue person is not immunized but healthy still, and yellow person is immunized and healthy. And then the red is the not immunized, sick and contagious. So look at this. In first picture, what we see is all blue people are there, only 2 are infected. So only 2 infected person, the whole population got infected because of those 2. Look at that. Then in the second picture, you will see some 5 to 6 persons are immunized, vaccinated, and 2 are infected. And those vaccinated have not got infection, but all others got the infection. In the last picture, what you see is, though there are 2 infected persons in the population, they are shielded by all other vaccinated people. So many vaccinated people are there. So these 4 blue are shielded by these vaccinated people. Therefore, they didn't get the infection. So this is how the infection and vaccination works. How the vaccination works. And now I am going to show you one simple, this one. Pushpa, how much time you are giving me?
Ma'am, you can continue till 4:15, ma'am. No issue.
Okay, so I can show you that. Okay, so then modeling. Now I have come to mathematical modeling of infectious disease. I said there are 3 people. One is susceptible, second one is infected, third one is recovered. Only 3 I am considering. There are so many things we have to consider, but basic model is this. This is called as SIR model. So that is susceptible, infected and recovered people. So SIR model, and we are going to consider this model, that is susceptible to infected, infected to recovered. So this model is written like this. Differential equations, ds by dt, the rate of change of susceptible persons is directly proportional to susceptible persons, number of susceptible persons, and beta, and it also depends on infected person. So because how many infected person he comes in contact with is the important point here. So therefore ds by dt is minus beta is. Why it is minus? Because they become infected. Then the di by dt, that is infected person, change in infected person is beta is minus nu I. These are the constants of proportionality. So the infected person also depend on the rate of change of infection also depends on the infected persons as well as susceptible persons. Then recovery depends on only infected persons. So therefore dr by dt is given. This is the simplest model. So this simplest model also gives us a lot of information. So you can solve this, but how to solve this differential equation? These are all 3 coupled differential. We call this as 3 coupled differential. 3 unknowns are there. S, I, R. 3 unknowns and 3 equations, and the multiplication of I and S is there. Therefore, they are all nonlinear differential equations. Nonlinear, ordinary, differential, nonlinear, ordinary, coupled differential equations. So this is very difficult to solve, but we can solve it, provided we know the results, we know how to predict it graphically. Graphically we can do it. So another model is, this is one more model, which is SIRS model, that is susceptible, infected, recovered, and again susceptible. So you might have heard in the paper, oh, the recovered person is again becoming infected. So recovered person is susceptible, then he again becomes infected also. So these are the things which are happening. So here the recovery rate is nu is the recovery rate, can be calculated by the formula D is equals to 1 by nu. D is the duration of infection. The duration of infection and the recovery rate are inversely proportional here. So beta can be calculated if we know R naught by the formula. Beta represents the contact rate. So R naught is equals to minus beta by gamma, we know it. So we use all these things and we calculate it. So I am taking one simple example, modeling of measles. Here, let us say we have a total population of 11 people. In 11, 10 are susceptible. 1 is infected. Only 1 is infected, 10 are susceptible, 0 are immune. No immunity is there. So no vaccination is given. Then average infection of measles average infection is 1 week. So usually measles will be there for 1 week, 5 days to 7 days it is actually. Okay, B is 7, that is 1 week, 7 days. Then nu is 1 by D, so that becomes 1 by 7. Then R naught is already standardized. R naught is standardized as measles in table. You see in the table, there measles 16 to 18. So I will take it as 15. Okay, nearby, because I am taking 15 because calculation will be easy. So you can take anything because nowadays you are having calculators. You can take anything. This I have done by hand, so I have taken it as 15. 16 you can take, or 18 you can take. So then you calculate R naught. R naught is what? Beta by gamma. R naught is given. Beta you have to calculate now. So beta is 2.14. So after calculating this, then you go back and substitute in your SIR model. So what does the SIR model says? ds by dt is minus beta is. Beta you have calculated now. Then di by dt is beta is minus nu I. Then dr by dt is nu I. Nu value you know it. 1 by 7 is nu. So all values you know it, then we are using a simple SIR model. Simple SIR model also will give you the information. So now you are having ds by dt is equals to some constant into is, di by dt is some constant into is minus 0.14 into I, dr by dt is 0.14 into I. So these are all 3 coupled equations. To solve this, there are many methods. What I have done is, though because they are all complicated nonlinear differential equations, you can use the computer, because nowadays we are having computers in our hand. Why to crack our head? So give it to the computer. It will give you the whole information. Whole graph you will get. So graphical information is far better than any other. So then what do you get? So look at this. So 3, I have done the graph. So to draw that, what do I need? Remember, to solve this, I need the initial conditions. So you need these 3, this one initial, we are having initial condition. Susceptible people, 10. Initially, there are 10 susceptible people. That means S naught is 10. Then infected people, I naught is 1 you are having. R naught is 0 you are having, no immunity, recovered. So this thing, you make use of those and you have to write the graph. So look at this graph. So what is that graph says? This graph shows that S is yellow, blue is I, infected, red is recovered, for recovered. So this shows that the infection spreads incredibly rapidly by day 2, second day. So where is day? Days are in x-axis and the population is along y-axis. So in second day, what has happened to infection? Blue line. You see the blue line. It has gone up. So it has gone up to 1 second. I will try to take the laser pointer. Yes. See, look at here. So on second day, it is peak only. After that, by day 10, most people are immune by day 10. Day 10 is this one. So day 10, most people are immune, but the illness is still in the population. By day 10, most people are immune, but the still immunity is this graph. So almost many people, so these people, and look at this, they almost many have got immunity, but still the infection is there. By day 30, the entire population is immune and the infection has died out. This day 30, what has happened? The whole population, that is 11 is our population. So this is 11 point population. All are recovered, all are immune now. So the infection, what has happened? It has died down. I is become 0. It is going to 0. So this is how we have to see. The graphically we get the answer. So there is no need for us to crack our head to solve this. So this is the use of computers, technology and mathematics gives us this. So this is very important thing. Next is, oh sorry, previous I got it. Okay. So the next model is, if you want to complicate it, same SIR model. Same SIR model, we have left so many things. We have not considered the death, birth and infection period. These parameters also we have to include, no? The population, total population, if you want to study, then how many have died, we have to subtract it, how many have taken birth, we have to add it, then we have to change it. So then at that time, this big model becomes complicated. So this has more number of terms on the right hand side. Birth is added and death is added. Here also the death is added, and B is the birth rate, D is the death rate, 1 by G is the infection period. 1 by G infection period also we have to add. So these three we have to add it and we have to consider. So this will give you still more accurate result. So that is the reason it depends on mathematicians to mathematician. Maybe I am considering SIR model, whereas Pushpa madam is considering SIR model with vital parameters, or other person is considering SIER model, SIES model. May not, there are too many models. But approximately everybody will get the same answer. That is very important. So that is the reason why we need to consider the models. Model considered is very, very important. We have to consider. So this is more simple model. So this is susceptible. You should know the type of virus and type of infection also. So at that time, the doctors also need to give us some input to us. So what may happen? Scientists, that is microbiologist or biotechnology people, have to explain us that how many days that virus remains. So whether we need to consider SIR model or SIRS model with vital parameters, because they should tell us that whether the newborn also will get the infection. So these things are, many things are there which we have to consider. So here, this is another model called as SI model or SIS model. That is, S is suspected, susceptible, and I is infectious. So there are only two, no recovery. In some cases, some virus, so that's what the corona also, they are saying the same thing. Corona also, it will be there in your body, it will not go. SI, it is only SI, not SIR, recovered. They are saying that recovered, but still the scientists have to tell us clearly that whether it is recovered or the phase is different. Only thing is the infection is less. So in SI model, they are only susceptible and infected. So this is in herpes. You might have heard about the herpes. So this herpes, this is once if it comes, it will be there in your body. Herpes will be there at any time, it will come out. It will erupt. So that's why, that is the reason why you have to take care of this. So therefore here we have only two equations. ds by dt and di by dt, susceptible and infected. So that is another thing. Then another one is SIRT model is there. So that is susceptible, infected, recovered and diseased. Diseased means not mortality rate, it is mortality. So these things you have to consider. So then SEIR model. So what is this SEIR? SEIR means susceptible, then exposed. So that's what we are getting, think that the person is having some tuberculosis because he is susceptible then, and he has come in contact with somebody who is having COVID, then he is exposed. He is not still, he doesn't have COVID. Remember, COVID is a disease. He might have exposed to coronavirus, but virus has not come to him. So he is exposed, he is susceptible. Then after that, he may get infected and then recovered. So then we need to consider all the three. So in this case, they are saying that you should consider all the three: susceptible, exposed, and infected. So now they have changed the thing that, oh, we need to consider all these things. Then the model will change. So that is the model we have to consider then. Then SEIR model. Then SEIR model with vital dynamics, that is with birth and death. So like this, we have different type of models. Still, we don't know what model has to be followed by COVID-19. Initially, they have started with SI, then they have started with SIR, then they have started with SIRS, then they are CIS. Like this, they are doing many different mathematicians, different people are doing different models. And if you search the literature, you will get thousands of papers already published on this. Within this 6 months, thousands of papers have come on this. I don't know what is the validity of that, because now in March, April, May, what they have studied and what they have predicted was entirely went wrong. So the thing is, this is what we call it as a research. We are only doing the research, we are publishing the things, and we have to wait and see what happens. So COVID-19 is a disease caused by SARS-CoV-2. They have given the name to this, that can trigger a respiratory tract infection. It spreads the same way other coronaviruses do. See, remember, this coronavirus is not a new one. It was there, it is there from so many years, but this is a new strain which has come, mainly through person-to-person contact. Infections range from mild to deadly. This is one of 7 types of coronaviruses. They have identified 7. We don't know how many are there in the universe, but they have identified 7, including the ones that cause a severe disease like Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS they call, and Sudden Acute Respiratory Syndrome, SARS. SARS was there long back. Then now this is COVID-19. They have named it as COVID-19. The other coronavirus cause most of the colds that affect us during the year, but aren't a serious threat for healthy people. Many of us might have got this coronavirus infection. Coronavirus attack is different. Remember, attacking a coronavirus to a person is common thing. Common cold, flu are all coronavirus effects. But if it becomes serious, then this may be the SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19, healthy people. So this strain, we don't know what is this strain. So what will happen to this? So then, this COVID-19 disease journey starts from corona positive. It starts from initially what happens if you come in contact, coronavirus is there in your body. Yes, coronavirus will come in our body. You may get cold and cough. Don't worry about that. It is a corona positive. Think it positively only. It has 3 stages. First stage is corona positive, and that is coronavirus is in the body. Second stage is you get infection. That means you get the infection. That means that cold and cough is becoming serious to you. He is now communicable. Once the corona positive will not be a communicable person, remember. But if he gets infection, then he is communicable. The third is disease. That is, all symptoms are serious. That becomes disease. Then anyone can get COVID-19, and most infections are usually mild, especially in children and young adults. The risk of getting infected is very low if you aren't in an area where COVID-19 is spreading, haven't traveled from an area where it is spreading, and haven't been in contact with someone who has it. Remember, the risk of getting is very, very less if you are not in contact with him, if you have not gone to that place, or if you have not traveled from that area to another area. So this is very important. Okay. So this is the first person who has done, and I am proud to say that he is an Indian. And he is an Indian. He was a product of IISc. Only thing is, he is staying in America, and he has done first prediction. He said in March, when the COVID-19 started in November only, it has started in China. At that time only, he predicted that it will spread. But he says that my results are wrong now, because he didn't expect this much, because he was not having much information also. He is there in Georgia, US, and we are proud to say that, okay, this is his information. I think I will skip all these things. What are the major challenges faced by mathematicians trying to model a pandemic like this? So major challenges, remember, the deeper we understand the data, the better we can build accurate models. So if you are not having data, then how can you build the accurate model? This is very important. Sometimes with very little data also, we should be able to build models, but in such cases, the predictions will have a wider range of windows within which the true cases could fall. So therefore, data is very, very important. Mathematicians are facing the problem with the data because they are not releasing the data properly. So, okay, nowadays they are using the wavelet. This has drawn the attention of mine because I am working on wavelets. Wavelets are giving the clear picture about the COVID-19, they say. So, wavelet analysis we have to apply. So, this is the research one. Don't worry about all those things. So, important observations. Based on model predictions, when we look at the data from India by the end of March, this is the given by Sini, that is what his picture I have shown him. So he gave this when initially, but now the whole thing went wrong actually. They say that the whole thing is wrong now. We cannot say anything about this. This will reduce this one, they say, but important observations are missing here. So many things are missing here. So, but statistically they have done. So finally, what I can conclude is India is in its peak stage of COVID-19 was, I have to say, because from 2 days I am hearing that they have come down. So maybe the peak is coming down. Our mathematical model shows that unchecked the epidemic is likely to cross this peak in August, overwhelm the available healthcare resources. Already it has happened. In August it has overwhelmed. This one I have prepared long back. Therefore I said overwhelming. But now already available healthcare resources also are over at that time, and we have faced a lot of problems. Many positive things of coronavirus. One thing is, I should concentrate on the positive things. So coronavirus disease is an infectious disease caused by newly discovered coronavirus. Okay, sure. Most people who fall sick with COVID-19 will experience mild to moderate symptoms and recover without special treatment. That doesn't need any special treatment. Initially, when they were not knowing, they have given so many treatments, but now they are restricting the treatments also. So therefore, don't worry about it. This is a positive thing. Then the virus that causes COVID-19 is mainly transmitted through droplets generated when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or exhales. These droplets are too heavy to hang in the air and quickly fall on the floor or the surfaces. So why we are wearing mask? Remember, to avoid these droplets. And why we are washing our hands? Remember, we might have touched those surfaces where these droplets are there. That's the reason they are asking us to wash hands, wear mask to avoid the droplets and to avoid the droplet contact. That is the important thing, mask and hand wash. You can be infected by breathing in the virus if you are within close proximity of someone who has COVID-19 or by touching a contaminated surface and then to your eyes, nose or mouth. So if you touch the contaminated surface and immediately if you wash hand, don't worry, nothing will happen to you. Think that you, by mistake, you have come in contact with the coronavirus person and you have shaked his hand also. But immediately if you wash your hand, nothing will happen. So what they are showing in pictures, everything immediately it spread to the body. No, that will not happen immediately. Unless otherwise you touch that hand to your eyes, nose and mouth. That is the reason they are asking us to wear mask so that we can avoid touching our nose and mouth, because they cannot ask us to wear the mask on the eyes. So that's the reason. But usually we touch nose and mouth frequently rather than eye. So therefore they are asking us to close the nose and mouth so that if we come in contact also, we may not touch our eyes and nose. So that is the reason. So coronavirus is it's a weak virus. If we are strong, it will not attack us. If you are weaker than it, then it will definitely attack on you. So to fight with corona, be strong and positive, strengthen your immunity, eat healthy, be active. Remember, nutrition be your medicine, not medicine be your nutrition food. Health comes from the farm, not from the pharmacy. So you should remember this. Wash your hands frequently. Cover your mouth while coughing and closing. Avoid close contact with anyone. Thoroughly cook meat and egg. Avoid unprotected contact with live, wild or farm animals. Thank you all. Thank you very much for patiently hearing me without disturbing me. Thank you, Pushpa.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am. Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. So, good evening to everyone. So, I am Dr. Sivaprasad Naik, Assistant Professor, BMSIT, Bangalore. So, I am honored to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this session. So, on behalf of BMSIT and YM, I would like to heartfully thank you to Professor Achala L. Naragun to giving excellent talk on mathematical modeling. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Madam to giving excellent speech about the present situation of COVID-19. Also, I would like to thank you to our management, beloved principal, vice principal, deans, HODs of various departments for continuous support and guidance of this session, this event. So also I thank to today's chief guest, Professor Achala Naragun ma'am. And also I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. Chetan AS, and my colleagues, Department of Mathematics, BMS, IT and M. Also I would like to thank our coordinator, Dr. Puspa BB, for taking efforts and hard work for all the arrangements of this talk or for this session. So now I would like to extend my thanks to all the participants for showing such a huge interest in our expert talk. So I would like to congratulate all of them. I hope this session will really helpful in your all required fields. So thank you all, students. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು?
I'm totally starting 37-40 ಇದ್ರು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಸೆಷನ್, ಯಾವುದೋ ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಷನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್.
No, they're collecting feedback from the students. Today is the last day.
Okay.
Students might be leaving because of that.
But you are having offline class, huh?
No, ma'am.
No,
Online
ma'am, online
classes.
only.
Well, online, huh? Okay. So still we have not started offline.
No.
No, ma'am, no.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank
Can
you.
I leave?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you,
You
ma'am.
can leave, ma'am.
Thank you.